So digital capabilities, we think about it in terms of a 3x3, three major elements of digital capability and pieces within there to help you do it better. So you can see from this picture here, customer experience, using IoT to drive a different way that you engage with your customers, and in so doing, drive more revenue and more customer satisfaction. Number two is operations, putting technology in there so your operations are streamlined, even more agile, and also maybe you can innovate and make better decisions upon it. And number three is the business models, thinking differently about what you sell and how you sell it and how you price it, because you've got better information and coordination to do it. We already know from online and other places, if you know your customers better, you can serve them better. You not only serve them as a single set of millions of customers, but you can segment those customers. So, for example, if you're on the cruise lines, now the Internet of Things is not a bunch of devices around the ship. The things that they're talking about are passengers. And because they give us digitally enabled tools there, they can then serve us better. So if you've ever been on a cruise ship, you know that it's basically a floating city. You know that while the cruise ship's kind of cool, you also spend a lot of time tripping over a lot of people, a lot of time waiting in lines, and a lot of time wanting to be able to do something that's not available. So now what they do, now that it's the Internet of people in these cruise lines, they know we can reserve things in advance. They know when the gym is getting full or when services are getting full, and they can restrict operations or tell you to come back later. They know when things are coming free, and they can tell us it's available. And how do they tell on what's available and what's not? Well, they followed us around for the time that we've been on the ship, and looking at the kinds of things we do, they know the kinds of things we like to do, and they can do more with it. Oh, so in customer experience then, what you want to do, not only drive revenue, you want to actually understand your customers better. And if you understand your customers better and then integrate the digital and the non-digital channels, then you can drive revenue and satisfaction. But it's not just a matter of putting the digital there, it's changing the way you know and relate to your customers. Operations is the next piece. This is where we think about when we typically think about IoT. So imagine a manufacturing line where every device is synchronized totally to every other device. You can optimize and move the knobs very quickly. For example, Formula One racing, pro motorcycle racing, these kinds of things. Here, it's not just a car. The Internet of Things in that case is the Internet of all the parts in that car. Every time they're racing, they've got a dozen or more trucks outside the race, and they've got half a dozen screens and monitors with people just tracking everything that's going on in the car. They know how many miles every component on that car has. They also know how they're performing. So when a race ends, they know what parts to replace to get ready for the next race. In addition, they're monitoring over and over again, so they can tell what to watch out for. They can tune performance while the car is driving. In essence, the same kind of monitoring and controls that they put on space flights, they now have in the Williams race team. And everybody wins because of that. The key point here is not the technology, it's what do you do with it. They can change tires in seconds when they come into a pit crew. Now they can also know how to coordinate the rest of the car in ways they never could before. The last piece here is the business model. In business models, the idea here is changing what you sell, how you price it, because you have better knowledge. You've got the digital allows you to do it differently. So for example, if you've ever been driving down the road in your car and the check engine light comes on, you have a real problem. Well, you know what happens when you go to the dealer or to the car place. You have the light goes on, they plug it into a computer, and the car says what's wrong with it. Daimler has created the Internet of Trucks. And so what happens now is if you're driving down the road and your check engine light goes on in your truck, you call Daimler, Daimler calls your engine says what's wrong. Daimler calls you back. You only get two answers from them. They say, nothing big, let's schedule an appointment to change that filter when you get a minute. And everybody's happy. The service station's happy, you're happy, Daimler's happy. Or they say, big problem, 20 miles down the road is a service station, you need to go there right now. When you get there, we will be ready with all the parts. We know exactly what we got to do, so you will be in and out in 2 hours. Any of you who have ever gotten a car repair know that never happens, but it happens in this situation now. So what they've done by connecting the information from the people that have it, or the engines that have it, to the people that can make the decisions, they can then synchronize and coordinate the entire process in a way that's better for the customers and for Daimler, and everybody wins in this situation. So what I suggest then is not only thinking about each of these three elements in silos, but thinking about them, how they can cross and do bigger things. So the idea is don't stop with doing one piece, expand it beyond.